They saw him when he came through the door. The Bible records vividly that he came through the door. Jesus appeared in the room. He came in the room. They saw him when he came in the door, but knowing that he was there did not bring peace because they were now uncertain of him. And he said, peace be unto you, and it still didn't bring peace because they were uncertain of him. So he had to show the receipts. Now, Jesus is having to prove to the believers to believe on him that they have been with for at least 3 years. This is not the world, this is the church. Now, Jesus is having to prove to the saints that he rose from the dead. Because on the other side of it, the evidence was so strong. Lord have mercy. The evidence was so strong. It was so compelling. They saw him hung high. They saw him stretched wide. They saw the nails in his hand. They saw where they pierced him in the side. They had taken his rigor mortis ridden body down off the cross, and they had pulled his dead cold arm away from the nails with a thud, and they had seen the blood congeal, and they knew that he was dead, and they had forced his arms into the death position and prepared him for burial. They had wrapped him up in linen strips, as was the custom of the day, and surrounded him in linen, and they were not sure that he was living, but they were sure that he was dead. And once you get a mindset that is set in a particular direction, it is difficult to get you change it. It is difficult to get it out of your head because it has almost been seared into your mind with a hot iron that what you saw with your eyes is true. And Jesus is trying to get them to look again. Respect. Your first look might be wrong. Your first look has to fight through your perspective. Perspective. And you don't have any respect for me because you got the wrong perspective. So in order to get some respect, you're going to have to look again. Because you can't offer a medication with one test. You can't do that. You can't bake a cake with one test. There are several ways you got to test that thing before you pull it out the oven, or you're going to get embarrassed. Have one of them cakes you got to explain. I know it don't look good, but it anytime you got to explain the cake, you have really made a mess. And Jesus is trying to get them to look again. In my text, Jesus appears in the room with receipts to dispel the pervasive view that the resurrection was a hoax. Is anything real anymore? In the text, he makes 2 trips to ensure that all of his disciples would not doubt what most of them would die over. He was going to ask them to die over it. He knew they had to be sure of it. So he gives them a chance to respect by showing receipts. The receipts of authenticity of his lordship is not in his crown. It is not in the 10,000 angels that he could have called from heaven. The receipts of authenticity of his lordship is in his wounds. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Thomas didn't say, unless I see his crown, unless I see angels all around him, I will not believe. Unless I see him walk on water, I will not believe. Unless I see him standing in clouds of glory, I will not believe. No, Thomas required the receipt of the thing he had survived. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Jesus, you see, has appeared in fresh garments, but old scars. That's a write down moment right there. Fresh garments, but old scars. He doesn't have on his grave clothes. That would have been admissible as some level of evidence, but Jesus has changed his garments. In other words, he doesn't look like what he's been through. There are people in this room that don't look like what they've been through. They got on fresh garments, but they got old wounds. They changed their hair, but they got old wounds. They got on nice cologne, but they got old wounds. They got their hair cut differently, but they got old wounds. And they don't look like what they've been through, and they're wondering why people don't believe in you. I will never believe in you as long as you change your garments and don't show me your wounds. I will only believe in you when you get the courage to be transparent enough to show me your wounds, because your wounds are the receipts that become evidence that build faith. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. So the problem with most of us, and preachers in particular, we have difficulty being effective in ministry because we keep showing them new clothes, but we don't have the power to show them old wounds. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Y'all with me? Y'all with me right now? No receipts, no respect. Say it with me. No receipts, no respect. Say it again. Say it again. That means I don't respect anybody that don't have receipts. I don't respect a friend that don't have receipts. You got to show me something. Don't date nobody that don't have receipts. If you ain't got no wounds, I ain't got no time. If you ain't been through anything, don't try to talk to me. You can't be my pastor and be perfect. You got to have some flaws, because I can't relate to perfect people. I got to have somebody who's been through the fire and been through the flood and been broken sometime and doubted sometime and cried sometime. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. No receipts, no respect. You look at somebody and say, no receipts, no respect. I'm scared to death of people that try to convince me that they have no receipts. I'm not impressed by your new clothes. I want to see your old wounds.